So may our dear comrade and friend, Hellen Nakimuli, rest in perfect peace. We thank you very much for your contribution. Your speech is definitely a suspicious act on the side of the enemy. It seems to us that it is likely because of what she said on Kabaka's birthday that has dearly, dearly costed her life. But as we know, that is the trend of these people. We don't expect otherwise. Anybody who speaks is now somebody they are looking to end their life or do something terrible to. So I have some updates, but more so I wanted to talk about something that I recently learned, the power of social media. And it is something that was used in the last few revolutions that have happened across the globe, in in Nepal and France, Indonesia, Kenya, Peru, Madagascar, Manila, the Philippines. This, you can all look it up. I'm also going to share it on my page, okay? Because now the president has said that those who can do should do, and those who can't do should do. Okay, I watched his his speech yesterday in Boston, and you know, certain things are going to take effort individually, not per his announcement or waiting for him to say do this or that. But I learned some things from a manga. A manga is one of the Japanese comics that was used. You know, Japanese comics are in series, a different series, like little books, which are written with special stories or very unique stories about different circumstances. And so the manga, this particular manga, which is one of the certain stories that are written by Japanese comics, has been used to actually ignite revolutions and successfully end some dictatorships around the world. Now, this manga in particular was called One Piece. It is called One Piece. It has been used in Nepal. You saw when the Nepali Gen Z rose up and burned their parliament because it wasn't functional. They burned their high court, the Supreme Court or Superior Court of the land. They also burned the parliament, the court, and another very special house or part of government that they had that was failing the people. And in Indonesia, where they used it, is basically a pirate movie where it's called One Piece. It's a Japanese best-selling manga where the main actors wears a straw hat. You have seen those, you know, in Acholi there's something called odero. Odero is like a sania, which is woven made of straws. Okay, I know in Uganda. No, I'm trying to think about it's some sort of material, like a basket material. And so this gentleman wore the hat. The main actor in this show is called. Anyway, I'll get to it. But it is the real legitimate revolution, a real life revolution presented in a book and a movie. It is called One Piece, okay? The president said, those who do, and those who don't, do. So, whatever you can, wherever you are, do whatever you can with what you have, okay? So, this is something that we can all look up. It's online. Successfully used. It is used in areas where there's been a lot of government oppression especially the newer generation, the Gen Zs, who had, you know, corrupt governments, poor quality of life, inability to dream, severe oppression of natives or natives of the land, and so it's known today as the symbol of legitimate real life. It is a flag. you see how Museveni doesn't want us to carry the Uganda flag anywhere in Kampala. In fact, if you carried it, there people were arrested, other people have been killed and all of that. So this symbol of this flag became a symbol for Gen Z to communicate amongst themselves, to share that we are here, we're with you, we're in this together, so to speak. So when you saw the flag with somebody else, you knew there was an ally there. And so in Indonesia, where this started, that was in 2005, it started because the truck drivers who started actually posting or hosting the flag on the trucks, they were being oppressed by the government by, they were putting a law into place where they had to reduce the load of things they can carry, or the truckload they can carry of certain items, which means they would have less income. They spent a lot on fuel, but they wouldn't make ends meet like they used to. So the same thing that's happening in Uganda, the same oppression by powers that be. So the main actor or character is called Monkey D. Doofy. Monkey D. Doofy. Okay? It's called, so he becomes the main character of the revolution. In the movie, he stands up to every power that is. This is a life that is on a boat by pirates trying to look for a treasure. But in the process, they find each other where he tries to find an ally with strong characters with different abilities, okay? Just like being National Unity Platform, we have several different powerful in different ways people. Joel Senyonyi, is perfect for where he is at Lope and questioning. He did very well in his previous position too. Mr. Waiswa Mufumbiro, great speaker. No wonder he's the speaker of the party. Everybody somehow was positioned because of their abilities and what they could do. And so this doofy monkey guy, he goes around and protects the people who are being oppressed, and he brings them onto as an ally, And so so he stands up to power. There were people, they had certain governments that were very strong, just like this one that we have now, that oppressed people, and they were, they did everything they could. They spent everything on themselves. They didn't care about the person on the ground. And so this gentleman, Monkey D. Luffy, became sort of a symbol, and he didn't care what he had or what he had to lose, but his goal was to get people to be fairly treated and not oppressed, and discontinue the oppression by the powerful. He had himself, like we have our Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the powers that he's recognized in different places. He's received, and different doors are open for him. But while he's doing that, he's allying with the right people to also meet, the other ends of the revolution as needed. And he didn't care about societal pressure. So society pressure is like, His Excellency saying, I'm going to be all in. Like right now, his home is destroyed. All of his wealth is frozen. His land titles are taken. Whatever would be a comfort of his life, he's given up. And that's the essence of that gentleman in the movie. And so the celestial dragons, they have some dragons in the movie as well, which represent the royalties and these royalties in symbolism to what we have now is how the Musevenis are trying to live, trying to seem as though they are better than Ugandans, and that we must, obey them, and we must live under them as their slaves. So this movie typically was something almost like set in Uganda, the same lifestyle we have, but in a revolution like we are right now. But they had a symbol that united all of them, and having that flag meant that they had whoever else supported that flag behind them. Okay? It was to stir up chaotic good. And so when the Nepali youth rose up, you remember, Nepal recently got rid of a dictator and a family monarchy type cabal that was existing in the country, they got rid of that by using the one peace flag, which successfully got them into a successful end of a revolution. So several countries have so far used it. It's all over the world, okay? So when they talk of social media ban, at the time when Indonesia started to use this flag, the president named it a treasonous act to carry the flag. And in fact, they ended up banning it and calling it a terrorist act to actually own and have the flag. So what we are going through in similarity is what I want to say is that we are doing the right thing and we are in the right place at the right time. So I will interject other similarities that we have now as we go along. Okay? So some of the real life revolutions are the things that His Excellency is going through. Protesters in Nepal, they burned their own parliament, as you remember, because it wasn't functioning for them. Our parliament in Uganda now serves Museveni. It is the reason why after Chankwanzi, the NRM were all dished out 100 million each so that they feel comfortable to pass on the next bills, which is the land bill, and then the sovereignty bill, and then the social media bill that just came out also recently. So in essence, it is possible that our revolution absolutely can and will succeed as long as we band together and not worry about what our personal losses are, because there's not much to lose anyway, because they're coming at us. They're coming at people. All the houses that are being broken down right now are houses that a lot of them belong to actually the poor, the part of Uganda that builds Uganda. And so it is not fair that we all sit on and watch, because when the foot soldiers, or the start of National Unity Platform, when His Excellency started speaking about the things that are going on and the suffering and the things that were going on that weren't right, there were some areas of Uganda or parts of the communities that were saying, we don't want to get involved because, like the people on the markets used to say, we don't want to get involved because our children, we have to pay school fees, and our businesses are what supports us, and so on, so on. So everyone, the boda, the taxi people, they said, we're media later, we're working for today's meal or tomorrow's meal, not knowing that now the laws that are being made to make sure that Kampala is depopulated, which means taxis, bodabodas, all those resources or sources of income that are menial are now no longer allowed to operate in Kampala. So which means, where are they going to go? It looks to me like Uganda is closing in. Every effort that is made for change for Uganda means well for every Ugandan. So even if you feel like you're temporarily doing well right now, it is very short-lived, because it's coming. When I read to you the security alerts I have today, nothing is meant for any good for Uganda. Everything they're trying to work on is to make sure to bring the people of Uganda to their knees, to make them slaves for the Rwandese. You saw a video of the girl riding the bicycle, and then there was a video that there was a post that I shared of the woman whose kiosk was taken away, loaded on a truck and taken away. Those two videos, now I understand the people who are trying to offer help are Gashumba's daughter, Sheila Gashumba, and the father, Mr. Gashumba. Those are both Rwandese. This is a typical picture they're trying to paint of Ugandans needing help and them coming to rescue Ugandan people. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but to me it seems like their script is coming true for them, the way they want Uganda to be. And what really does Gashumba do in real life? Is there any job that you know that Gashumba does? Do you know what Sheila actually does to earn a living? No. They don't work. They thrive on stealing from Ugandans and doing things that are dubious and earning like land and assets like that. Then they sell or do whatever they do with it. But there's nothing truly like hard work that other Ugandans are doing. So in essence, it is the abuse that we have seen coming in, creeping in slowly, and evidently coming into the larger picture. So in what I'm saying is that if we don't do something now, it's only going to get worse. if you're comfortable now, it is very short-lived, because they want all these houses in Kampala demolished because they want to bring up their buildings and structures and have us rent and pay heavy rents, electricity, water, and all these things to them, which means we will continuously become slaves to them. A lot of the buildings in Kampala are owned by Salim Saleh and the first family. Speaking of which, most of Museveni's family members are not in Uganda now. If you're close friends with them, you will notice that you are not going to see a lot of them here and there. In fact, they plan that after swearing in, Muhoozi will then come off as CDF and will then become vice